everybody, this is Christina at Scrapcraft and Stitchery. So this is my winter journal and I want to continue to add pages to this winter junk journal and just kind of finish it out and finish filling it out. I have a long ways to go, but I want to show you what I'm working on in here and take you along, and hopefully you can do some pages with me. Whatever your style is, I hope you'll join and come along. So in this video, I'm going to show you how I had these two journal cards to begin with that I had already gone through and pre-decorated some things in this journal. And so in this video, I'll show you how I finished this and added some more details and some pictures to these journal cards and some journaling and made this cool vellum pocket I'm super excited about. And you can see what I've put in here in the video. So come along and join me as I continue to decorate my journal. I'm so glad you're here. The other side, this is a double pocket, and this is made out of a masterboard. This will be probably book page on the back of here, which doesn't really matter. But I folded it over one page evenly. I just folded it in half and then attached it by sewing these edges. And I did sew this into the book, which was a little bit challenging. I have these other pictures, and I'm just going to go ahead and keep going because I want to make some progress. So on the other side of this, since it's kind of going on with backyard theme, look at how pretty that will look right there like that. Love it. This is my photo of my flowers, and I think I'm just going to stick it down, and I'm going to use these little mercats as a border. Yes, that's what we're going to do. I really like, a lot of times I don't journal in something that I've already kind of started to decorate, but I'm really liking it. So I'm probably going to put this very much like that. I like that this will kind of stick out of this pocket and you'll be able to see this. And then I might add some journaling space here, but there's already just a lot of journaling space on the back of here. This page has actually a lot of real estate. You could put something here, you could journal here. You can, I am probably going to use this as just a stamp, and it's another piece of this same paper, and I had actually stamped onto this one and stuck it in there. And I'm going to probably put these photos on there. I might go ahead and add a little bit of collage to the background. Use up my scraps again. That's very exciting. And then I'll do something with the back collage. I don't know. I do have some of this. That might look good. I really like this too, but I just think I like the pink and the red. I think it's gonna go together nicely. It might be a little clashy if you're not really super. I might put a little bit of this book page. Look at these cool. This book dictionary had some like tabs along the side to help you find your way through it, and I think that that's really cool. I might add that little bit and just tear that off. And just use that little bit to kind of extend this border that these mercats are making. Above this photo. just a little bit of extra interest, because why not? Again, I think I'm gonna peel these off and then stick them back down. See, with washi tape, nothing is forever. We're going to use that to our advantage today. Because I'm not done. I am not done making a border out of these sweet little mercats. I really do like this. I got this pack off of Animal Pack. I'm giving my self permission to play and to have fun and use things that other people might think are kind of for children, but hey, I'm a child at heart. I can have animal washi tape if I want to. And I obviously have already given myself some permission to play with this at some point, because I obviously went through and decorated a whole bunch of this journal already. Which, as I was saying, I don't necessarily often do. I often come to pages that are kind of blank, or a lot of times I use paper that's like, this is already kind of decorated, but here I've like already put some decorations in, and this is kind of really freeing for me. I am super happy that I've gone and done this, because I would not have grabbed either the bears or this mercat washi tape and put them down on a on this paper to go with my backyard pictures. But the fact that these things are kind of coming together right now is really making me super happy. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to just write echinacea. Because these are echinacea. These do super great in my area. I'm like 7B gardening area, and these grow fantastic. My neighbor has them all in his front yard, and they're very mature plants. I think they're perennials, or they reseed themselves, but this one's coming back, and so I'm pretty sure it's a perennial here. And they do make seeds, and they will reseed themselves, and just they bloom for so long. Truly fantastic. Like right now, the azaleas are all blooming in the spring, and but they're gonna be gone in a couple of weeks, and then they'll just be nice shrubbery, but they just get covered in flowers for just a little tiny while, and then they're gone. And I think, again, we are going to use this trick where we are going to write this out, but we are going to check our spelling. I think that that's a little bit too structured, and that's not really what I want. I have another piece of this. This might be the way to go, and I'm gonna write that on there, and then I'm gonna tear it out, or something. I did not like that pen. That is not how we spell it. Back to the phone. Okay, no H. No I. E. That's a weird word. E-chin. A-C-E-A. I hope that You can also call it a coneflower, apparently. Yes. Oh, please. Help me learn to spell. That was not a misspelling, by the way. It was just my handwriting ate my eye. Echinacea. Okay, this is one of the first things I planted in my yard. I add a few flowers every year, and I highly recommend these. This will be the third year, and I'm super excited to start to see some of my plants that I planted when I first got here. And because some of these things like take 3 years to establish, like your perennials, and so this is like supposed to be the payoff year for my, like, say, hydrangea. It's super small right now, but I hope that this year it really takes off. I really like this color with this kind of color. I think that's a lot of neutrals, but it's got all the pink and the red, the flowers, and like it a lot. I think that looks good right there. And again, I'm going to kind of leave this really kind of plain. I don't foresee really wanting to add a lot more to this. I do think that this page, I don't have a lot of pictures for it. I could do a lot of journaling. I might write about this. If I was, one option is I could get some like notebook paper and put down the side of this and do more journaling on there. And I might just do that here. Kind of add, that would be cool as a pocket. I really like this paper. I don't want to cover it up. I have a packet of seeds that I saved from last year, and I just saw them. I know that they're like right here somewhere. I just got the coolest idea. Let me go grab what I'm thinking of. I probably have more vellum, and I have this one. Who knows where I got this? I was cleaning last weekend, so I know where all my stuff is. So I can have all of these brilliant ideas. This is not open. I'm going to open this. Just hold on. This is going to be super cool. So we're going to make a pocket out of this, and I am going to sew. I have this like red thread in here, and I'm going to sew a pocket out of this vellum. One of the things about vellum is and I'm going to sew it, and I'm just going to attach a pocket of vellum over this, and then we're going to tuck those echinacea seeds from last year down in that pocket. They are in like a little pouch. I made a little seed pouch for them. But you know what? It's just so cool. I also have this. As I'm sewing this on here, do I want to, yep, there you go. This is a just piece of filter paper that I got. It's kind of a sciencey supply. Maybe not super available. You could cut out a circle using, a circle cutter. and do something very similar to this with just a piece of like book page. Book page would look really cool. I have this. I'm going to sew this into, I'm going to sew this in the inside of the pocket to hold that, I think. So that'll be like that. So anything you stick down in here kind of has this extra, and it's gonna kind of, yeah. I like that idea. Okay. Let's see how we can pull this off. So is what I'm thinking is rather than cut this, I kind of want this to have like a torn edge maybe. So let's start out by doing just tearing along here. You know, I kind of have, I feel like, I don't know, I don't want to really limit myself on my supplies. I kind of want to be getting in there, and I'm just kind of in the mood to use up what I have right now and to make the most of it. And that's where I'm at. That's what I'm doing. Because, I mean, I have done junk journals where I've like just used things that kind of fall into my life, and that's great, and I like that as a challenge. But right now the challenge is more to be thankful for what I have and to really get in there and start using my art supplies again. And just not letting any kind of barriers. It's always one thing or another. Like, you could say, well, I can't do this because I don't have these supplies. And I could say, that did not come out the way I wanted it. I'm going to just tear a piece. Sorry, I'm struggling as I'm thinking too many things at once. There's lots of things that can stop you. And I could stop myself, and this is kind of where I'm struggling. I'm kind of stuck. And I'm doing it to myself, and I don't really know why I'm doing this, but I can always overthink myself out of doing something. I mean, you can think yourself, oh, well, I don't have this supply, and I don't have that supply, and so I can't do this. And no, I think that the lesson here is, you know, I cleaned up my space and I know where my things are. So then I'm making this page and I'm looking at these flowers that I've printed out, and it's very fortuitous that I then remember, oh, I think right over there on the desk behind me, I have a packet of seeds from this very plant, and why not include that in my journal? I could go out and replant them, but guess what? This thing made so many flowers, and there's so many seeds, and I did not gather all of these seeds. I gathered like one flower and collected seeds. I could also give those to somebody else, but haven't done it yet, and now would be the time that they would want them, right? I'm gonna put that there, and I think that's gonna make a very cool pocket. I have some like orange red that I think is gonna kind of play nicely with these colors that are already in this paper in my sewing machine, and I'm gonna grab that. Oops, wrong side. See, let's not do that again. It would be really cool to maybe like sew around this, but I've already put that down, and I think I'm not going to. I am going to leave this as another tuck spot, and I think that that should be fine, and it's not going to necessarily get caught on anything. Vellum paper is a little bit tricky because if you put glue on it, it's obviously see-through and you can see where you glued it down. So that is why we are going to sew this, and I'm going to start with the top and sew that first so that that has kind of a decorative edge. I have lots of interesting scraps on my desk. I am very, very fortunate to have all these interesting scraps on my desk already. But if you don't right now, keep it up and you will find them. I am going to grab my sewing machine and I'm going to sew this, and I am probably going to not include this in the video, or if I do, I might put like some music over it. It just depends. You could also hand sew this if you don't have a sewing machine handy. And like I said, I have this really great kind of orange red thread already in here, and I think it'll kind of go in between there. And it is in the top and the bottom. Okay, that was a question I had. What is in the bottom of this? There is all right. I just keep this set up underneath my desk. All I have to do is plug it in and go. This is a very old sewing machine. Had it for a long time. And I do generally just use it to sew paper. Because that's what I do. This is what I do, guys, when I'm happiest, and this is what I do. White stitches. I think if I do that, that will make that wide. Okay. Turn it on. Go backwards. Go forwards. Try and keep it straight. So this is going to be the top of the pocket, and I've kind of just reinforced it by doing a zigzag stitch around across the top and left that just a little bit like that. So that's what that looks like. Hopefully that is in focus and not too close to your face and scary. And then I will sew this onto this card. So we'll sew this back onto here, and I'm going to sew on this side and just around these edges to make a pocket. And you'll still be able to see this beautiful paper underneath. And hopefully we'll have stitching going here. And I might that'll hold this as a tuck spot, because we'll stitch here and it'll be a tuck spot. I will show you. You might want to just complete that border. So I'm going to start first. I'm just going to make a stitch line along here, so that this side also has stitching, and then I'll complete that with the other part. So watch. And I'm going to straighten this out and make this a little bit bigger. So I've sewn along here before I've put the backing on for the pocket, so that there is along here a border, and it will be continual border. So now I'm going to line this up where I want it and continue around from where that is, if that makes sense. So I want that to be up here to kind of off balance this, and then make sure I'm going to have to sew on this side now, just so I can see what I'm doing, obviously. So I'll put that back in the machine, and I'm going to start in this corner and go around those 3 sides. Thank you for putting up with me as I explain what I'm doing. I know that I should probably be showing you this, and I'm not because I don't want to move the camera. Keep the needle in, turn that. I'm just going to try and sew. It's not in the exact same position. It's a little bit closer to the needle now, and that's okay. I'm just going to try and keep it as straight as I possibly can. Needles in. That is about the same as it was on the other side, so that's good. All right. I have this lined up with where I started on that top border, and go back a few stitches and forth to make sure that that's tied down. It'll tie it down so it doesn't fall out later. And I don't know that I remember to do that on the other side. I haven't sewn anything like in years and years and years, except for in my scrapbook, and this is fabulous. The tension's probably a little off here, but you see this border goes around all the way around here. It's tying this filter paper in. You could use this as a tuck, or it can just function as a place. Let me get rid of the sewing machine. I'm done with this. I'm going to turn it off and unplug it for next time. If you guys really want a tutorial and you ask for one, I can provide that. But today I am just not going to worry about it too much, except for to say that's definitely a possibility. If you have the sewing machine, go for it, use it. I could have done all of this with glue as well. This was supposed to be inside there, and it is now not, but that is okay. So now we have this see-through pocket on here. Look at that. Just beautiful, right? Absolutely gorgeous. This is reinforced, these colors, because there's the orange and the pink and the red. And I just think, I mean, I wouldn't normally put orange with this, but it's really kind of, the paper asks for it, so the paper gets. And I think it looks really good. I do wish I could, I should fix my tension, because really you want to have the front and the back look the same. But so much for another day. Now, let me see if I can find these seeds. Look at this, guys. Look, 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 look. Okay. Okay. So these are the Echinacea pink hybrid seeds, and I'm going to archive these now by putting them in here. Do you want to see them? I glued this bottom part down and made a little envelope out of just a piece of coffee filter. And there are, in fact, like these little coneflower seeds in this packet already. And I found this the other day as I was going through some things. And this is growing in my backyard. I don't necessarily need to replant these. I could, but I love the idea of sticking this in here as kind of a time capsule. And I am going to bulk the heck out of this thing. Maybe I won't fold that so much. But now you have this very cool see-through pocket that is going to be just super fun to play with. Okay. Things are just coming together so well. I'm just so excited about this. Okay. What else can we do? I think that's going to be way too much. I want this to stay kind of more simple. Okay, I'm going to, that's all I'm going to do with that. I am going to leave that here for this. I am having such a good time here. This is so much fun for me. I love this stuff so much. I do still have this pocket, and I should probably, because those seeds are in there now, and it's nice and like bulky, I am not going to do too much crazy stuff to this unless I decide to change my mind. I always reserve the right to change my mind. So because this card, I think, is going to sit in here with these flowers poking out, I am going to kind of plan this one to be opposite of this. So this is just this table set up that my boyfriend, I came home from work one day and he was like, "You have to see what I have done." And he was so excited to show this to me. But he had set up the table in this just very romantic table setting. And we have these cushions on this low table so you can sit on the ground on this rug in the backyard and have dinner. And I mean, just look at this. This is so nice. And the fact that he did this, it was just so romantic and so sweet. And he is just wonderful. So I'm going to continue to use this paper up because it's there. I might put a little dictionary paper behind this. And I should do something really fun here. I wonder if I can find a sticker of a sunflower, maybe. To kind of go with my tiki torches and nighttime theme. I don't really know. But these are sunflower plates. So it would kind of go with the theme of the table setting. It's very blue, it's very sunflowery. I think that the orange and the yellow and the would go very well. I'm gonna see, do I have a sunflower somewhere? Really handy right here that I could just grab and use. And I have these buttons, and I'm looking at that button, and it kind of looks like a sunflower, and those things are so huge. I am a little bit past my comfort level already on this being super bulky. A flat sunflower. I have some stickers up here, and let me look and see what I can find in the big fat sticker books. I have 3. Let's ask the first one if it has anything. Also, this is definitely a thing. We have butterflies. What are we after? Sunflowers. This bouquet might be actually not bad. I don't know. Oh! We have sunflowers, folks. This is like really my day. things are just really kind of coming together, and I'm just going to peel this up and put it down here. Maybe we've jumped the gun. Hold on, flower. Hold on. Stay there. Let's put down our pictures first, and then we'll put the flower. And everything's going to be fine. Okay. Things do not always flow like this. I am so ecstatic. I think that this is just happening to me because I cleaned. I think this is really all happening because I was cleaning and I saw a lot of things that I maybe hadn't seen in an embarrassingly long amount of time. In an embarrassingly long amount of time, guys. And I was just going through my things and I saw a lot of the vellum. I knew where that was at because I just saw it. Again, since we're talking about my partner, he was telling me about this idea for a junk journal yesterday that he had, which sounds kind of a little different and crazy, but I think he was going for something unique and something that like I have never really seen before. And it's kind of all playing into some things where I was on Reddit in our journaling, and people are talking about, do people read your journals? And I know that like sometimes I do some I want to show off my junk journals, but I do write in them a lot of things that are kind of maybe personal. I don't really mind sharing my journals. I usually am pretty positive when I write, and if I am writing something negative, I have other techniques. I don't necessarily keep those things in my journals. So I'm pretty usually okay sharing my journals if somebody, because I also trust people to not read them, which if I'm just showing you, hey, look at my book, I don't think that generally, but I think it makes people uncomfortable too. And so he had this idea to make a journal where maybe you could write on the pages, but then put an envelope or a sleeve or a page cover over there and decorate that. And he was telling me all about it yesterday. And it sounded both incredibly unique and interesting. I do not want all of this, nor do I want to fussy cut the entire thing right to the edge. But this sticker in particular has some parts that I think can be removed. And I also think I'm not done. I want to put something else underneath this too. I think I'm going to use some of that dictionary page. Anyway, so he had this really cool idea. He was telling me all about it very excitedly. I think I might do something like that. I have a list of things to do and ideas to try and bring together. I don't think anybody's doing anything like that, quite like that. I do think it would take up an incredible amount of space because, as he was saying, I mean, the pages of the journal would probably have to be cardstock weight or something so that you could slide these covers over them without, damaging the pages. But talk about having a lot more space in your journal. I don't know if you really would, because you're probably going to have to cut down the number of pages in order to do this, because you're making them out of cardstock. I do have some art journals, which I have not posted anything about. But that is on the menu. I might do that maybe next week. We shall see. It might be a little bit farther out when I get around to doing that. I said no flower. I'm going to put that back over there. I think, put, look at this, workings of the inner ear. I don't want to not use that. And it's kind of a weird thing to put on this page. Do I want to find another piece? Do I want to... Okay. Let's save the ear, because we should still have enough. I want to use that on this page. Oh, E. E is for echinacea. Right? Also for earthwork, which is about where we're at. I do want to use this eagle. And I found this dictionary at a thrift store, and it was already falling apart, and I got it for $1. And I mean, it was in tatters, so it came apart super easy. I got the book cover, which was a big book cover. I am sure I still have it somewhere. I don't need all of this. I need maybe about how much of this, guys? I should have put this underneath there, and then nope, it's just gonna go, I think, like that, but I don't need all of this. I'm gonna tear off enough that I have a good chunk of that. I'm gonna tear a little bit off the top too, because I just think it was like that. Okay. Now I'm gonna get all, you know, picky about how this is going down. I want it to cover more of that, and the way that I'm gonna fix this is I'm just gonna put 2 layers. I should have foreseen that I was going to want to cover a little bit more of that and fill a little bit more of that space with something, but I didn't. So now I'm filling in. And because I already stuck the pictures down and I can't change where those are, in order to get this to fit, I'm just going to put it like layer it up a little bit. And I think that that will kind of fill that space a little bit better and make me just a little bit happier. It's going to provide a little bit of ground for the flower. I could be edging these, you know, but I'm not. Yes, be sure to check out your local thrift stores. This wasn't even a local thrift store. I got this when I was driving. I was on a road trip to a family reunion, and I saw there were signs all up and down the road somewhere between in southern Georgia on my way to Florida, and they were like, thrift store, antique mall. And I was like, oh yes, I'm going to stop there and have a break. And I did. And I found this dictionary. And just the best of times. Use some of this washi tape. just because this is kind of a romantic theme and this is kind of a romantic flower type washi tape. It's got all this script. Eliminate what doesn't help you evolve. Nothing is impossible for a willing heart, it says. Excellent. I'm just going to kind of layer this up. I went through all this trouble, okay, to tear out this eagle, and now I've put washi tape over the top of it, just because I'm going to put that down there. I don't think that's going to take away too much from that picture, because it's just not, because it's all in the dark, and it keeps the, like, flowers. I am going to put this down. I'm going to put the flower down now. Put the flower down now. Put the flower down now. Here we go. All right, flower. Here you go. Put the flower down. There we go. Flower goes down. And then okay, I am going to use this. I like this little saying that says, nothing is impossible for a willing heart. And I want to get rid of, eliminate what doesn't help you evolve. Not that I don't like that. I don't want it here. But I want to use this as kind of a little cute sentiment for this page. The stickers in this sticker book, let me tell you, they don't. Do not stick very well. I'm going to find a place for this. It could go over the flower. Is that two in the center? Do you think? Maybe? 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 I like it up there. I just do. It's very dead center. I am not a person who likes to put things in the center. I like groups of three. I like things to be kind of off center, but I'm really liking that right there. Okay. If I haven't convinced you guys that I am absolutely crazy yet, I will soon, I promise. I love doing this. It's fun to play with these things and kind of eyeball it and be like, yeah, I'm going to put that there. I know you know what I'm talking about. And I have this little tiny piece of like scrap. I'm like, can I just stick this down on the side of here? And yeah. It's too long. It is too long to go there. And but watch this. I like that. It's going to give that a little bit of a border. Little bit of I guess I'm burying things today. Bury things deep. I buried that other patio and I'm going to bury this too. Just kind of give a border to that picture. And I'm going to use this other tiny little scrap over here on this other corner to just kind of give it a little bit more finished bit of something. And just kind of make the corner just to liven it up. Again, I could be inking the edges of these before I put them down. That's not what I'm doing today. I am going to put dysteria down on the other side of this. I'm going to put that right at the top. That is exactly what I'm going to do. Although I guess there's another side, but the other side just has an E. Also terribly interesting, right? You could put something underneath this, like this washi tape. I can decorate this a little bit more, mainly just because I don't have a lot of journaling to do about this. Maybe I do. Do I have a lot of journaling to do about this? Yeah, I probably actually can. Since this was a very lovely and romantic thing that my partner did for me, I probably should. Think about what we're doing. This can go right up to the top of there, I guess. I was going to leave a little bit at the top, but I think now I am not going to do that. I do kind of want to get that. Start building this up at the bottom. This is really plain. Let's hold our horses. This paper, this is a piece of cardstock, and it's a really nice piece of cardstock. It's very textured, and it's got kind of this linen texture to it, and it's not going to be that great to write on. It's kind of a little plasticky. It's not very absorbent. I was able to stamp on it, no problem. I just don't want to have to deal with writing on this texture, because it's going to make everything super messy, I think. And so I am maybe going to, like this. I think this is a little misleading. This is a piece of book paper, and it is also fairly heavy textured. I don't know if you can see, but this was kind of like a cover piece for a book that I have taken apart. I might put this down on here. The only problem is I cut this out. I think I was going to use this as a pocket. Let me look and see what else I have. That does fit there very, very nicely. I don't really want to leave my desk. I do happen to have a whole number of things over here, including some larger filters, and I could put this on there. Could fold it in half and make a little opening thing. I don't really want to go that all out. I could put that something like coming down from the top of there. That'll be fun to write on, I think. And then I can still do my border like I was thinking I was going to do. I'll just do it on top of here. I guess I could have done this from the bottom. Let's just keep adding and adding and adding and adding, and I think it's going to be very cool. And I have a place for my journaling. Let's put that. You could use this as a title. I don't think I'm going to give this a title. I think I'm just going to leave this as little sentiment right here as kind of a nice little thing that I found along the way. I think I'm just going to stick this down. I'm going to remove the edges of this filter so that that will maybe poke across there. Maybe not. We shall see what we can do. Just add some interest. Give me a place to write that's not on that. We have these new scraps. Just wrap that over that like that. I think that kind of makes that look like an envelope a little bit. I think that's kind of cool. See if we can peel this up and have that kind of go over the top. I think I like that better. Yeah. I did kind of ruin that a little bit, damage it, but you know what? I like it, and it's a junk journal, and the fact that I've messed up the picture, trying to peel it off just kind of gives it a little bit more fun. These are just pictures that I like. I mean, printed on printer paper. They're not so that I could play with them, and it's going to be seen, and it's going to be great. Let's put this down. Yep. Let's do this. I am going to make this into 2 videos. This is really, really long, and I don't want you guys to get too terribly bored. I'll put a part 1 and a part 2 of journaling about my backyard. And that's what I've been doing today. I am about to finish this up. I will put this down, finish decorating this a little bit. I am thinking about kind of getting this wrapped up, but I have gone through and done basically 2 full spreads, and I mean, one's a half spread, in my junk journal about my backyard. It's been really great. I love this a lot. I'm going to put this down. This is not going to have enough. I am going to get out a ink pad and distress and ink the edges of this just to kind of make it stick out a little bit better. Yeah, this has been great. I've got to play for about 2 hours today. I know this because I've been recording for this long. Here's some vintage photo in distress ink. You can use a lot of different things to do this. I will try to not always reach for the distress inks, but today I'm going to reach for the distress inks. And let me see if I can find a dauber over here. It's just been very relaxing and very nice to kind of get to film, talk to you, and do a little bit of really, truly just making something and doing a little bit of like remembering things and allowing life to kind of come together in this fabulous way that it's been coming together. And I really have been happy today about how my pages have just kind of directed me. Do this, you can use this. And then as I find and look at these things, I mean, it's, oh, yes. So, you know, I have this picture of this beautiful plant, but I also have the seeds like right there at hand, and I can add those to the page. And again, I'm going to say, if you need encouragement to kind of clean up your craft space, this is my encouragement to you, because this would not have come together if I had not just cleaned up my space and cleaned off my desk, and if I had just left everything in a pile and jumped into this. So, you know, while I haven't really planned this out entirely, other than I had these pictures that I had printed, everything else kind of just came up because that I've added to this particular page has just really kind of come up because I was digging through my supplies and looking through them and organizing things. So that is fabulous and going to work with this. I'm just going to kind of put a couple layers of paper down here, and I'm just taking the same paper and layering it and layering it and layering it. To try and get it to look like we've added a little bit of stuff, I am going to put this piece of washi tape that I've already torn off right over there. And I am probably going to tear across the edge of this because I don't want a super straight edge. So I'm going to tear this off, and then so as not to waste anything, I'm probably going to use that again at the bottom, the piece that I've torn off, and just kind of layer that where we feel like it needs to go is more than fine. Let's get this off our finger. You know, we're putting this at the bottom. Just use this to kind of build a little something down here. Something's happening down there. No worries. You don't have to know what it is. It's just going to be something to look at and something to, you know, someplace to stick this stuff. Just someplace for that to live and kind of be a little bit of extra something. I don't know how much of this I want to actually use. I'm really in the middle kind of a mood today. I'm going to put those words right down there in the middle. And this is a really interesting story I'm telling. It says, duty of water and eliminate what doesn't help you evolve. Because I didn't use it on the other side. But where I'm going to write about this romantic thing that my Toogie did for me, I am going to just put that down. I might repeat it there. I don't want to repeat that there. Okay. Well, anyway, don't read what I'm saying. Read what I'm saying. So I'm going to finish this by putting a little bit of journaling down here. And I'll just write about this sweet thing and this romantic thing that my partner did for me. And so I'm going to finish that. I have paired that with this card, which I have sewn. It's got the echinacea. These are just stories from our backyard. That would be actually a really good title for this to go somewhere. And I am going to leave this page it'll be covered up. And when you pull this out, there probably won't be anything here. Unless I decide to put a title here that says Tales from the Backyard. That could be fun. I might add that, I might not. And I'm going to do a little bit of journaling here. And So I have this. This is a very nice piece. It's now has a translucent pocket where you can still see this beautiful scrapbook paper that I used to make this card. I didn't have to cover it up. I have just kind of enhanced it with some things. I already started with these little mercats, which I've just kind of left there because I could have removed them. They were washi tape. You saw me peel them off and move them around so I could put this other element underneath. Just kind of like filled it out. I haven't filled all of this space, but I like the design. These are just flowers that I planted in my yard and I'm super excited about. And I saved some seeds. We've found the seeds on my desk. I am putting them in here. I like how I had this kind of filter paper that I'd already coffee dyed, and I like how it matches this other coffee dyed, this other coffee filter that I used to make a packet for the seeds. And now those can just live in here with that, and that'll live in there. Just very lovely. A little bit of glue to this sticker. And then this is just a lovely story of romance and love and a wonderful thing that happened in my life. And I'm going to journal about this on the back of here. Just to remember how lucky I am really to have such a great guy. Don't know where my glue is. I'm going to clean up again, and that's okay because I'm sure it will bring us lots more joy, right? After we pick up a little bit. Okay, we are gluing down this flower just a little because these things do not like to stay down very well. Glue that down permanently like. So I could add a title. Strangely enough, I'm talking about adding a title to the back of here, but I think that's fine. I like this. This is a very simple card. This will give me a place to journal about these pictures. It'll be very interactive and very fun. I could also make the title over here because I do have this other facing page that I haven't done anything with yet. And I've kind of just been ignoring all day today and pretending like it's not there. So let me do the journaling here. Let's test this pen and see if this is the one true pen. want my little book of stickers back because I'd really like to find some little thing to just kind of fill out the very bottom of this. I do think something like a rose would be very pretty. I don't know if I'm going to find anything as small as I want, because I want something like fairly small, just to fill in that space. But like these pansies are really pretty, and I kind of feel like they would kind of blend in and match a little bit. Because I don't want anything like super bright, because this is a very muted color scheme. I might go with this. I kind of like the pink. Because I can see the pink from that other card kind of sticking there. And I mean, I kind of want that to go right there. I might cut the bottom off. I don't know. The back. I'm not going to use that one right now. It's too big. I want something much smaller than that. Honestly, like these are kind of fun. I really want a flower. I want a flower to kind of match the mood and the maybe that guy. Maybe I should have just stuck with the pansies. Grab the first thing you see. This has so many fun things in here. Oh, little beetles. No, definitely not what we want. I mean, something like this would almost go, but I want something that looks a little more organic. That's too organic. I don't know what those were. I'm going to use this daisy because it kind of reminds me of the sunflower on the other side. And it is, like I said, the plates have sunflowers on them. And I just think that that kind of adds just a little bit of tie-in to the table setting. Okay. Oh, yes. I think it's very... I like that a lot. Also, I'm going to put this bee since there may also be bees on this table setting. I don't really remember. I should maybe have gone ahead and finished this with some... Now all of a sudden I'm in the mood to have really... I'm just going to leave it. Just going to leave it, even though I know that I really want to go back and ink those things, but I don't. So, getting to use up some of my stickers, getting to use up a lot of my scraps, getting to do a little bit of daydreaming and remembering, you know, the last couple of years that we've spent in the house with my boyfriend. I'm in heaven here. Okay. I'm going to call this done. I could do something with this, but I think I'm just going to leave it plain. I really just kind of like that as an elemental detail. Really love this vellum pocket. I love this, that the pictures are, that all of this is very, it's just very fun that it's very interactive and you can kind of take things in and out and rearrange them. And just tales from our backyard today. It's lovely. It is absolutely lovely in this lovely little book. It's starting to get really fat because I'm putting in a lot of things, but that's great. There is a lot of this left to go. I have not done much in this book, so I hope that you will get to come back another day and just keep adding to this with me, because this is great. This is fun. Just a lot of things. I'm looking at this. I actually have some pictures of me trying on some clothes that I ordered online, and that might go here. I was taking pictures, and my sister lives far away from me, and I was sending her pictures of what I had ordered and was telling her all about that. So we often share packages when we have unboxings. She's my go-to unboxing friend. That would be kind of a fun thing to write about and put pictures in here. And there's a lot of room here. This thing is gonna not like close. Is going to be like this one by the time I'm done with it. I didn't put a lot of pages in here. There's only 2 signatures, but it is kind of a small book. Anyway, thanks for joining me today on Scrapcraft and Stitchery. I hope that you've had a good time. I hope that this has been inspirational for you to kind of get in there and play in your journals and do a little, fun journaling along with me, no matter what you're doing today, or maybe you're just watching while you're cleaning your house. I definitely like to watch YouTube while I'm, washing the dishes and whatnot. So I hope you're having a great day. I hope that this has kind of inspired you to get out your supplies and play a little bit every day and have a little bit of fun. If you have anything, let me know. If you have anything to add to this, let me know. You can reply in the comments, and I will be sure to get back to that and answer you. And it would be great to see what you're doing. If you enjoyed this, I hope you will like, subscribe, and share. And thank you for joining me at Scrapcraft and Stitchery today. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.